presented by the National Gallery of Modern Art, Mumbai, Ministry of Culture, Government of India. Thanks to everyone for being with us today. We will begin this evening by a special performance by Ms. Gauri Sarma Tripathi and her team.
Sa
Ladies and gentlemen, what we have witnessed was just wonderful, and we are thankful to Ms. Gauri Sharma Tripathi and her team, members from France, Sneha Masundkar and Karan Tripathi for this beautiful performance. The invocatory piece, Mo Om Mahalakshmi, was supported on music and composed by Neeraj Chha and the legendary Pandit Bezu Maharaj. Choreography by Gauri and co-designed by Asar Lalji. Gauri Sharma Tripathi is trained in the classical tradition of Kathak under the guidance of her guru and mother, Dr. Padma Sharma, who is also present with us on this auspicious occasion. He has been bestowed by Amrit Award by Sangeet Natak Academy. Gauri has developed a vision to force a new generation of performers who see themselves as dancers, creators, and entrepreneurs. For her, dance is a way of life and it reflects the artistic journey. Dance is her mantra. Thank you very much, Gauri-ji, for your brilliant performance. Now I would like to request our Director, NGMA Mumbai, Ms. Nazneen Banuji, to address the audience.
Thank you, Shruti, and namaskar and a very good evening to all of you. Our very distinguished chief guest this evening, Ms. Meenakashi Lekhi ji, Honorable Union Minister of State for Culture and External Affairs, Feroza Godrej ji, Brinda Miller ji, both of them need no introduction, our distinguished invitees, artists, art lovers, members from the press, my dear friends, ladies and gentlemen. Well, on behalf of entire team of NGMA, I extend a very warm welcome to you all. At the outset, I would like to apologize for the delay in opening of this exhibition, which was earlier scheduled for inauguration on 27th of April, but got postponed due to declaration of state mourning on account of sad demise of Shri Prakash Singh Badal. May the departed soul rest in peace. Subsequent delay due to certain administrative reasons beyond our control and beyond the control of this office is also regretted. Anyway, finally, I hope the turbulence is over, not only for the airlines, but for the AI collection as well. And here we are today to witness this beautiful evening. As the Director NGMA Mumbai, it gives me immense pleasure to host Maharaja's Treasure, an exhibition of select works of art from the famed Air India collection. Well, post signing of MOU with respect to transfer of Air India collection, which was formalized early this year, this is our first endeavor to showcase and celebrate the iconic collection, which was a pioneer in promoting our rich heritage across the globe. It is also pertinent to mention that Air India played a pivotal role in supporting artists and craftsmen through commissioning, purchases, and also providing free air tickets in exchange of artworks. And I believe Brinda Millerji has been a beneficiary of that scheme earlier. And all this at a very crucial juncture in the history of our country, when the traditional patronage provided by royalties and nobilities was declining, and the institutional framework to support, to sustain, and promote diverse creative endeavors was still evolving and not robust enough. Well, Air India approach towards integrating arts, aesthetics, and culture in its business branding and marketing model, as well as its entire gamut of daily operations, not only redefined the whole experience of air travel, but in the process also built a unique repository of art collection, which is of historic importance today. The impressive diversity and broad spectrum range of the collection, which includes paintings and sculptures from the modern period, miniature paintings, Tanjavur and Mysore traditional paintings, folk paintings like Pichwai and Kalamkari, as well as southern bronzes, stone sculptures, exquisite textiles, costumes, decorative arts, and the list is long. This unique composition holds an unparalleled position in the history of any commercial airline. Well, this exhibition is in-house curated, designed, and executed by Team NGMA and consists of thematic display of around 200 artworks of great masters and some equally talented, great unknown artists, which is segregated into themes such as festivals, divinity, landscape, abstract, women, music, and dance. The famous ashtray designed by Salvador Dali also forms part of this display. As we open this important exhibition and focus the limelight on meticulously chosen exhibits that Air India used to redefine the air travel in its own Maharaja style, I would like to thank everyone at Air India for helping us throughout the journey of this project. My sincere appreciation to AIAHL and Ministry of Civil Aviation for their constant support. I express my deepest sense of gratitude to Ministry of Culture for always supporting and encouraging our endeavors. I would like to thank Ms. Mugdha Sinha, Joint Secretary Museum, Tem Sunaro Tripathi, my colleague and Director NGMA Delhi, Mr. Sushmit Sharma, who has curated this show, Ms. Shruti Das, Deputy Curator NGMA Mumbai, as well as entire team of NGMA Delhi and Mumbai for successfully setting up this exhibition. Heartfelt thanks to our chief guest this evening, Meenakashi Lekhi ji, for sparing her valuable time, ma'am, and being with us only to inaugurate this exhibition. I request everyone to kindly give a huge round of applause. Ma'am has come specially from Delhi to inaugurate this, and then she leaves from here to the airport. So I'm grateful to you, ma'am, personally. Firoza Godrej ji, of course, she has been a great support, a great patron of art, and she was also the advisory committee chairperson of NGMA. Brinda Miller ji, thank you, Brinda ji. Thank you to our performers. Gauri, you have just witnessed. There's a few more performances coming up. Harshada and her team is going to perform. Thank you very much to our performers. Thank you to Asad Lalji and Team Avid Learning for coordinating these performances for us today. And last but not the least, thank you very, very much from the bottom of my heart to the wonderful, beautiful audience. You turned up in great numbers and made this evening even more memorable for us. Hope you enjoy the show as much as we loved putting it up for you. Thank you very much, and Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for the warm welcome and informative address. Now I would like to request Dr. Firoza J. Godrej, ma'am, to kindly speak few words.
A very good evening to everybody here. It's like a homecoming for me. Thank you so much, Nazneen, and your team for thinking of inviting me. I have many, many happy memories, many thousands of hours spent as a chairperson of this institute some years ago. To the Minister, I'm so grateful for you taking your time and coming to Mumbai. It's not a long way, but we know your busy schedule, and you head, for me and for everyone here, a very, very important ministry, very close to the hearts of every single person here in Bombay. Thank you so much. It's an honor to have you here to open this, what I call an iconic museum, not just an iconic collection, not just for this city or state, but indeed for all of India. It is the Air India's treasure. It's an amazing collection built up with a lot of love, a lot of passion, and at the back of the people who made this collection, they wanted to put India, and they did put India, and we will put India on the map, not in aviation, but now with the collection in the able hands of the Ministry of Culture. I think there's no holding back with having exhibitions and education related around this subject. There are so many friends in the audience, but I would like to single out a lady who was here right from the beginning, on her hands and knees, and I'm so happy that Dr. Saryu Doshi is with us here today. And I think, Saryu, I say this thank you on behalf of everyone here, because this building was, as everybody knows, the Kawasji Jahangir Hall. It was an auditorium. Kal ke Kalakar, performers of the years gone by, had a platform to perform over here, and then it was put in her able charge, and it took a long time. It's a complicated building. I'm not going to refer to it by its common name or idea that people give it. Oh, the Guggenheim of Bombay? I said it's better than the Guggenheim of Bombay. We're going to give you something really wonderful in the 5 floors that we have. And as this exhibition unfolds, which I'm really looking forward to seeing, it's a story that tells itself. The curator has done a very good job in giving it sections and giving it a structure. There's also one more person I just have to acknowledge, is a lady who single-handedly has been with this collection for the last 4 decades, Uttara. Stand up and take a bow. She really was the custodian. The young Uttara Parekh, thank you so much for safeguarding. She was really an able-bodied jailer, because we didn't know where this collection had gone, how it was being looked after, where it was being preserved, on which floor of the Air India building. Could we have a look at it? And all along, this young lady knew exactly where it was, and along with her team, gave us a wonderful exhibition when the Minister for Civil Aviation had come here at the handing over of all the administrative stuff that happened, and we had a peek into this collection. So I'm not going to stand between all of you who want to go around. We also want to see the performances. The Kathak was very, very nice, and we're glad that we could have the performance here. And thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you, Minister Lekhi. We're looking forward to lots of interactions with you. I know you've come with great hope, and we will not let you down in Mumbai. Thank you very, very much. Thanks, Brinda.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Now I would like to request Ms. Brinda Milerji to share her views with us.
Since I'm the last to speak, I think I won't make it too long. I'm sure you're eager to see the collection, as am I. I just want to relate the incident that Ms. Nazneen Banu mentioned. And Uttara knows part of the story, I think. It was many, many years ago that I went to New York to study. And I wanted to kind of earn my way, like all students want to do that. So I spoke to my father about it, and he said, no, why don't you just, Air India does this, they encourage artists, you just take your paintings there. I'll get you an appointment, after that it's up to you. And I carried these paintings myself to the studio, and I remember meeting you there, Uttara. And Mr. Dabolkar was there, who was the art director. And he had a look at my paintings, and he said, okay, I'll take these 2, and I'll give you a ticket to New York in exchange. So I was absolutely thrilled. That was my first big moment with Air India. And I think these things don't happen anymore. I'm sure that it was one of those things that, even I was very surprised that happened. My uncle used to work for Air India as a PR person in New York. He had a very, very cushy job, very good job. And that Uttara, of course, knows. But he was like a guardian to me. So he looked after me in New York when I went to study. And he had these two ashtrays, which were similar. They were the same, actually. And he said, these are by Salvador Dali. I said, really? So he said, would you like to have one of them? So I said, okay. I didn't like them. I didn't like it at all, to tell you the truth. But the story behind it was so interesting. The story was that they approached the team. My uncle was a part of that team, and he approached them and approached Salvador Dali. And apparently, Uttara, correct me if I'm wrong, I may have got the story a bit off, but so they asked, will you design this? And they said, yeah. He said, yes, but in exchange, I want something, of course, because instead of payment, he asked for a real elephant. A baby elephant. And is it true that they gave it to him? They did, right?
They actually took it.
So you'll see the ashtray here, which is, I don't know, I think he made some 500 pieces or 300. They made an edition of that. So I have two of them in my own home. Because he gave me one. You also got one. The elephant, yeah. And I have these letters from Chota, my uncle, and with the PR team and the correspondence and all of that, because he was a hoarder and he kept all these things. So I have those also, where they described how they approached, the whole PR angle of getting these ashtrays made. So these are the two stories, and I think that's why I'm here today, because I was relating it to her and she was very, very interested. And I thought I'll just tell you both that, tell all of you that, these two stories are what really were a big high point in my life. And right now I have these two ashtrays at home, and both my children said, thank God you have two, because we can each have one of them. So thank you very much for inviting me here, and I'll always support the NGMA in whatever way you want me to. And yes, I do want to thank Saryu Doshi also, because I think I'm here because of her. I remember helping you at one of your shows, and she knows my family well too. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for being with us. I would like to kindly request our respected Chief Guest, Honorable Union Minister of State for External Affairs and Culture, Srimati Meenakashi Lekhi ji, to kindly address the audience.
Thank you very much, Nazneen ji, Dr. Godrej. If I may address Brinda as Brinda. Ms. Brinda, ladies and gentlemen, pleasure and honor being here. And this is one collection about which we've heard many, many stories. And I'm so happy that it's truly a Maharaja's collection. And when you hear the stories about elephant being exchanged for ashtrays, I feel that's an expensive deal. But in India, we are all Maharajas and Maharanis, let's not forget that. Because the kind of treasures, the collections, the culture, the values we have, both at emotional level and at the aspect of intangible value system and tangible properties that we all possess. We are all Maharajas and Maharanis as compared to rest of the world. And truly it's been called Maharaja's collection. And when I was entering and looking at the mascot of Air India, one is reminded of old stories and all that India is about. Happy and glad that 80 years of this story gets to be depicted through paintings and art pieces, a time which in my assessment of political thinking was a difficult period for India. It's never been an easy time, but those were definitely difficult times. When Brinda talked about being in a country as a young artist who wanted to study abroad, we all remember, I remember my times a little later than 85, about 90, that the FTS you get or you were able to carry was $750 odd. And God knows how long can you sustain yourself in $750 odd. And those were such difficult periods when one phone call back home, you had to work 4 to 6 hours a week to make payment for one phone call back home. So definitely India has changed from that time. But we were always, in spite of these economic difficulties, we were always a very, very rich nation, which we continue to be when it comes to art, craft, culture. And that's what the richness is depicted. We all understand the value of art when Sotheby is making auctions and things like that. But more than that, when a simple woman who's wearing a simple salwar kameez in azrak print or a sari which is hand painted, hand done, which is malmal, to simple cottons, to chanderis and silks and of course paitanis and whatnot. So we are rich in that sense because we can afford all the luxury which can be crafted through hand and all the imagination that artists can put into its work. And in that sense, India has always been a very, very rich country. No country in the world can claim 2 classical systems. India does. So we have 2 classical music systems. The grammar of music was written here. And where religion and science or religion and craft and culture was never at loggerheads, they were always together. So if you want to test your singing traditions, they go back to your Samved and goes on and multiple schools, multiple references. If you look at the paintings and the art, I mean, can I be a little more proud than I'm exhibiting? So 2,500 odd years ago and more, Ajanta and Ellora. And the world is talking about immersive art experience today. When you look at the painting schools, they wouldn't have started beyond 14th, 15th century AD. And we are talking about few century BC. And it kills me when I see people claiming that blue color belongs to them. I say, come and watch my Ajanta and Ellora. Different shades of blue is what you see. And so many of my ancient ancestors died as D-I-E-D, working for and creating indigo and cultivating indigo. So, and my gods are also blue. So Indian history with culture, Indian history with art, craft is so huge, so huge. Unfortunate part was that post-independence, we did not have patronage because artists requires patronage to support themselves. And artists, we all know, are people who are, they have an element of God in them because they are always competing with themselves, trying to make their skill better and better and better, which unfortunately rest of the non-artistic human beings don't have that. So I have this saying that you will not find an artist picking up guns and knives and killing people and doing wrong things because they are not competing with each other, they are competing with themselves. And they are trying to upskill themselves all the time, no matter how senior they are. How senior these master craftsmen would have been who painted all this, starting with Prabhas to Prabhu to Santoshi to Hussain to Canaria, so many of them, the kind of immense work they have produced, but even till the very end, they would still be competing with themselves and trying to better their skill. That's the beauty of being an artist, and that's the quality of an artist. And India, we are grateful that we have had such huge traditions. And on behalf of my government, I can definitely say that what you see today is Vikas with Virasat, that while we are trying to implement infrastructure development, building roads, ports, aircrafts, uh, bringing more airlines, making more airports, getting more people on board when it comes to tradition and craftsmanship, but simultaneously, we've put equal emphasis on the crafts and arts of this country, trying to salvage our heritage, trying to do whatever best we can in terms of taking forward the message of infrastructure development per se, and the heritage of this country, which is huge and great. To this audience, this August audience, I will just leave a mark by saying that whenever we sort of look at some work which is huge, we usually say, oh, this is Herculean task, don't we? And this has been a Herculean task. To put it all together would have been a Herculean task. But a whole lot of us end up forgetting our own tradition, that when Ganga was brought to the earth, it was done by Bhagirath, and the equivalent word in our tradition is Bhagirath Prayas. And that Bhagirath Prayas is what we are talking about. Because Bhagirath's work would have been done a few million years ago, before the Herculean was even born. Hercules would not have been born at that time. So my point I'm making is that we have great, great, great traditions. Something we all need to be proud of. Something we all need to understand. I am a very, very proud Indian, proud of everything that India has. And especially when Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav is being celebrated, the Prime Minister's been very, very focused in his deliveries and plan of action, starting with Adi Mahotsav to Amrit Mahotsav to Buddhist conference to traditional arts and crafts to setting up of new museums to preserving, conserving, starting up with new heritage university. He's been very, very focused and has asked us to sort of perform and deliver. And the best way to preserve and conserve our heritage would be when people, corporates, normal people on the streets all come together to preserve, conserve, and before we do that, take pride in who we are, what our heritage and culture is all about. And only when we become proud of who we are can we promote art and craft. And I'm so grateful to Air India for doing that at a time when artists in India were really looking forward to patronage. As I mentioned, 750 was the FTS way back in 1990. I'm sure 84, 85 would be still less. And at that point in time, to promote young students to travel abroad, to be able to study more and take India with them and learn from outside and bring those traditions and craftsmanship or maybe marketing and selling techniques back to India would have been really great. And I'm sure many artists would have got a platform to showcase their strength and creativity. And Air India did that work. I'm very glad that Uttara is still around and taking us around and is telling us the story which Air India painted so beautifully at that point in time. And thank you for being here today, because it's a great sense of honor when people who are associated with the story are part of the story, and when the story is getting reenacted, replayed. And I have many plans in my mind, which I will discuss. But one thing I can tell Nazneen today, and I'm speaking from the podium, unfortunate, but I'm known for speaking my mind. So I feel that because it's pertaining to my other department, RPO, who's my representative as an MEA's representative in Mumbai, works and coordinates with many high commissions and CDs of other countries. Maybe you should be in touch with him and get all SEs and others to come and have a special view for them. So that many and many more people get to know, because Italians have a tradition of being a soft power, and they talk about their culture and heritage, France being the other. But we somewhere do not market ourselves well, though our artists are very, very good. And 80-year story of India, truly Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, needs to be retold multiple times at multiple places. So we will all, as a part of a team, work together to take it to multiple places. And in the meantime, what we can do is bring those people here. That's what we need to do. So I'll request you to get in touch with him and send the invites. And these guys should be part of your permanent invites. And call them and ask our RPO to coordinate with you. I've already told him, I said it's a personal invite from me, so do drop in. I think retelling of the story of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav becomes very, very important for all of us. Because when India becomes 100, I don't know whether I'll be there or not, but the work of the artists will still be there, NGMA will still be there, and somebody will have the time to relook at the brochure who was present at that time and who said what. So let's document today's moment, and with these words, please enjoy the evening, and we are all lucky people to be present here to see such great work by such great artists who we may not have met in person, but we all know how great they were and how much they would have struggled to be there. And today, our economy has changed for the first time in the entire history of our independent India. First time we have crossed the line when we were below sub-Saharan economy. Can you imagine that? With such richness, we were below sub-Saharan economy. And first time in the history post-2014, we've crossed that line. For the first time, 53 crore bank accounts were opened in this country, as compared to 2014, when only 12 crore or less than 12 crore bank accounts were there, for a country of 120 crore people. So a lot is changing, a lot still needs to be changed. Accessibility to art equally has to be there, through the people, by the people who are responsible for making it possible. And thank you all the art curators, art lovers, and patrons of art, because without patronage, art cannot survive. For this art to survive, we need more and more people to come on board in one form or the other, and collaborative effort will always put us in good stead. With these words, thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for your informative speech. Now I would like to kindly request our chief guest and all the dignitaries to kindly release the exhibition catalog. Thank you very much for doing the honors. Ladies and gentlemen, taking this beautiful evening forward, I would like to invite our next performer, Ms. Harsada Jambekar and her team, who is going to present the popular folk dance of Maharashtra, our own Lavani. Here, I would like to briefly introduce Ms. Harsada Jambekar. She is a seasoned Kathak performer, a Kathak Nritya Alankar, a graded Doordarshan artist, Nritya Nipun Award winner from Nalanda Dance Research Center, who has presented Kathak in various forums.
कशी मी राखू तुमचे महरजे बसरामजे वळख जुनी धरून मनी वळख जुनी तुमची धरून मनी काय करू सांगा मी आहर रे बसरामजे पडदा लाजाचा पडदा लाजाचा लाजाचा फेकला पडदा लाजाचा लाजाचा फेकला पडदा लाजाचा लाजाचा फेकला या रावजी तुम्ही बसा भाऊजी या रावजी तुम्ही बसा भाऊजी कशी मी राखू तुमची महर रे ओ बसा रावजी ओ बसा भाऊजी बसा रावजी रेशमाच्या रेगाने
dim tanana dim dana uda dana dere na 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 भ्रमित भ्रमर करी गुंजन हलगे अधीर मन मम जणु सरित जल करीत स्वर झर 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 दीन दन उदन देर न दीन तन दीन तन उदन देर न बरसत बरसत बरस बरस दिव्य गान स्वर्ग देश बरसे तरसत तरसत तरसे तरसे मन तुषार तव कृपेश तरसे मम अंतरात मन मंदिरात स्वर ताल साज आज भुमतो मन धुन्न आज तव गुंजनात गुरुराज आज तुझ सिदास स्मरतो फिरते धरती धुम तनन नन अवती भवती धुंद तन मन गगनी अवनी भरुनी कण कण स्वप्न एकाजात रुजुदे
प्रधानमंत्री जी की सोच बिल्कुल स्पष्ट है और वो स्पष्टता उनके भाव में और उनके भाषण में कोई अंतर आपको नहीं मिलेगा। जो कहते हैं वो करते हैं। तो संकल्प से सिद्धि तक की बात है और संकल्प लिया कि भारत की धरोहर को बचाना है और भारत की धरोहर की नींव डालकर विकास करना है। तो आप कहीं पर भी देखिए, म्यूरल्स के रूप में, पेंटिंग के रूप में, क्राफ्टमैनशिप के रूप में आपको तमाम ऐसी चीज़ें मिलेंगी जहाँ पर भारत अपनी सभ्यता और संस्कृति के साथ विकास की बात कर रहा है। सबसे लेटेस्ट उदाहरण जो है वो भारत की संसद, जो नई संसद बनी है, उसी के माध्यम से देश दुनिया को मिलता है। चाहे वो संगोल की प्रतिष्ठा की बात हो, चाहे अंदर आर्ट पीसेस की बात हो, भारत के इतिहास की बात हो, और सबसे खुशी की बात कि उस संसद को बनाने वाले आर्टिस्ट, आर्किटेक्ट्स, वर्कमैन, मटेरियल सब कुछ भारतीय है और लेटेस्ट टेक्नोलॉजी वहाँ पर इस्तेमाल की गई है। पाइपिंग, डक्टिंग, एयर कंडीशनिंग के माध्यम से सबसे बड़ा बिना पिलर का इतना बड़ा हॉल बनाया है और सूरज की रोशनी डायरेक्टली अंदर आती है। तो जब हम कहते हैं कि विकास भी और विरासत भी, तो वो संदेश स्पष्ट है। वो संदेश है कि भारत की विरासत को बचा के रखना है, धरोहर के साथ अपनी जो सभ्यता संस्कृति है उसको साथ लेते हुए, उसको नकारते हुए नहीं, देश को आगे बढ़ाना है। और इसी माध्यम में मैं बार बार ये बात कहती हूँ कि हरक्यूलियन टास्क तो बहुत लोगों को पता है, पर भागीरथ प्रयास की जानकारी भी बराबर से होनी चाहिए और वही देश का बदलाव है जिसके लिए हम सबको गौरवान्वित होने की आवश्यकता है। और जहाँ तक आज की बात करें या अभी हाल फिलहाल के समय की बात करें, युवा पीढ़ी की बात करूं, तो बहुत प्रसन्नता होती है जब मैं पाती हूँ कि युवा पीढ़ी भारत के विषय पे जानना चाहती है, रुचि रखती है। और जब अमृत महोत्सव की पीढ़ी की बात हो तो मैं हमेशा ये कहती हूँ कि अमृत महोत्सव देश मना रहा है। 75 साल हमने आज़ादी के पूरे किए हैं, तो 75 वर्षों की जो हमारी जद्दोजहद रही, जो दिक्कतें परेशानियाँ आम भारतीय ने देखी और बावजूद मुश्किलों के उन सबसे उबार कर अपनी सभ्यता संस्कृति को भी बचाकर जीवित रखा और उसी को अपना पायदान बना के, उसी को अपनी सीढ़ी बनाकर आगे बढ़ने का जो प्रयास है वो हम सबको करना है। जब तक अपने इतिहास पर गौरवान्वित नहीं होंगे तब तक हम, कोई भी देश, हम ही नहीं, कोई भी देश आगे नहीं बढ़ सकता। तो भारत के इतिहास का परिचय मन में रखें, गौरवान्वित हों और देश की धरोहर को आगे लेकर विकास की यात्रा तय करें। और जब भारत 100 वर्ष का हो, मैं हूँ या नहीं हूँ पता नहीं, लेकिन युवा पीढ़ी सब रहेगी और तब ये शब्द शायद सबके मन में खनकेंगे कि भारत की धरोहर को बचाए रखना कितना आवश्यक था और भारत अपने मुकाम पर पहुंच पाया क्योंकि हमने धरोहर को संभाल कर आगे बढ़ने का काम किया। तो ये जो आज की एग्जीबिशन है वो उसी प्रयास का एक नतीजा है और वो प्रयास है जब हमने आज़ादी के 75 वर्ष, 76 वर्ष लगे हुए हैं और 75 वर्ष पूरे किए हैं और जब भारत के इतिहास के 75 वर्ष पूरे हुए हैं तो 80 साल का जो इतिहास है, यानी जब एयर इंडिया सेटअप हुई, पहला कलेक्शन चोर बाज़ार से उन्होंने ख़रीदा, कितनी बुरी हालत में देश रहा होगा क्योंकि उनके पेट्रन्स नहीं थे उस आर्ट को। और ये एक मॉडर्न इंडिया की इतिहास भी बताती है और बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है। और आज़ादी के अमृत महोत्सव में तो ख़ास तौर पर जो हमारी रन फॉर आइडेंटिटी है वो इस एग्जीबिशन के माध्यम से पूरी होती है।
कहना चाहोगे
मैं बहुत ज़्यादा आज खुश हूँ कि एयर इंडिया का कलेक्शन जो है सबसे पहले एनजीएम में मुंबई में हमने ये एग्ज़िबिशन लगाया। जैसा कि मैंने बताया अपनी स्पीच में भी मैंने मेंशन किया कि जब ये मेमोरेंडम ऑफ अंडरस्टैंडिंग साइन हुआ बिटवीन मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ सिविल एविएशन, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ कल्चर, एनजीएमए एंड एआईएचएल कि ये जो एयर इंडिया का कलेक्शन है वो ट्रांसफ़र होगा मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ कल्चर के पास और एनजीएमए इसकी कस्टोडियन होगा। उसके बाद पहला एग्ज़िबिशन इस कलेक्शन का जो हमने एनजीएम में मुंबई में लगाया, मुझे लगता है मुंबई के लोग इसको डिज़र्व करते हैं बिकॉज़ पूरा कलेक्शन यहीं पे एयर इंडिया बिल्डिंग में है, तो हमारे लिए लॉजिस्टिकल भी बहुत ज़्यादा चैलेंजिंग नहीं रहा बिकॉज़ यहाँ से कोऑर्डिनेट करना। और जैसे कि आपने देखा हमने जो सैम्पलिंग की है कलेक्शन की, उसमें सारे मास्टर्स, ऑलमोस्ट ऑल द मास्टर्स, ग्रेट मास्टर्स वर्क दैट दे हैव एक्वायर्ड, वो सब हमने इसमें लगाए हैं। आप देखिए मेरे पीछे वो प्रभा हैं या संतोष हैं, हुसैन, आरा, सूजा, आई मीन अर्पना कौर, ईला मेनन, सो मेनी ऑफ देम। तो बहुत ही अच्छी बात है और मैं आज बहुत रिलैक्स्ड हूँ क्योंकि ये एग्ज़िबिशन हमें 27 अप्रैल को ओपन करना था और उस दिन स्टेट मॉर्निंग डिक्लेयर हो गई क्योंकि प्रकाश सिंह बादल जी की डेथ हो गई थी उस वक्त, बहुत ही अनफॉर्चुनेट। तो उस वक्त हम प्रिपेयर थे इसको ओपन करने के लिए, पर वो उस दिन नहीं हो पाया और उसके बाद आज हम इसको ओपन कर रहे हैं। तो पर्सनली मेरे लिए बहुत खुशी की बात है कि ये गैलरी जो पब्लिक को बिलोंग करती है आज ओपन हुई, वो भी इस एग्ज़िबिशन के साथ जो कि बहुत ही हिस्टोरिक एंड आइकॉनिक कलेक्शन है। और मैं चाहूँगी कि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोग आएँ, इस एग्ज़िबिशन को देखें। करीब 2 महीना हम इस एग्ज़िबिशन को अपनी गैलरी में रखेंगे और आई एम श्योर कि इस एग्ज़िबिशन के साथ ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोग जुड़ें, चाहे वो स्टूडेंट्स हैं, चाहे आर्ट लवर्स हैं, चाहे वो एकेडमिशियंस हैं, रिसर्चर्स हैं, क्यूरेटर्स हैं। और बहुत कुछ है इस एग्ज़िबिशन में देखने के लिए, अप्रिशिएट करने के लिए, टू गेन इंसाइट, टू गेन स्टोरीज अबाउट हाउ दिस आर्ट कलेक्शन वर एक्वायर्ड बाय एयर इंडिया। सो मैं आपके चैनल के माध्यम से सारे मुंबईकर्स को इस एग्ज़िबिशन में पर्सनली इनवाइट करना चाहूँगी। आप प्लीज़ आइए और इस एग्ज़िबिशन को ज़रूर देखिए। धन्यवाद।
बड़े पैमाने पे एक एग्जीबिशन ऑर्गेनाइज करना लॉजिस्टिकली कितना चैलेंजिंग है? बिकॉज ये कलेक्शन जहाँ तक हमें मालूम है पहले दिल्ली गया, दिल्ली एनजीएमए से आपने पढ़ते थे, सो एंड हाउ डिड यू चूज व्हिच आर द वर्क्स दैट इज गोइंग टू बी पार्ट ऑफ दिस?
नहीं, सो अभी ये एग्ज़िबिशन, ये कलेक्शन दिल्ली नहीं गया है, अभी ये हैंडिंग टेकिंग ओवर फिज़िकल प्रोसेस में है बिकॉज कलेक्शन बहुत ह्यूज है, तो इट हैज़ टू हैपन इन फेजेस। So the process is on parallelly and क्योंकि ये दिल्ली में ये कलेक्शन यहीं पे था तो हमारे लिए बहुत ज़्यादा मुश्किल नहीं हुई, लेकिन इस पे काफ़ी दिनों से टीम काम कर रही थी, एनजीएम में मुंबई की और एनजीएम में दिल्ली की टीम। तो हमारे यहाँ से जो है डेप्यूटी क्यूरेटर हैं श्रुति दास वो, और सुष्मित शर्मा है क्यूरेटर जो डेप्यूटी क्यूरेटर एनजीएम में दिल्ली के हैं, और दिल्ली के जो निदेशक हैं एनजीएमए की तेम सुनारो त्रिपाठी जी। तो सब लोग मिलके इस पे काफ़ी सालों से काम चल रहा था। तो बहुत बार आई मीन जॉइंट इंस्पेक्शन हुआ एयर इंडिया कलेक्शन का, तो ये डिसाइड हुआ कि भाई जो पहला एग्जीबिशन होगा उसमें सबसे ज़्यादा हम जो है आइकॉनिक कलेक्शन लाएँ। तो आपको ग्लिम्स ऑफ एवरीथिंग व्हाट एयर इंडिया कलेक्शन कंसिस्ट ऑफ आपको इस एग्जीबिशन में देखने को मिलेगा। इसमें स्कल्पचर्स हैं, प्रिंट्स हैं, ऑफ कोर्स पेंटिंग्स हैं, सम ग्लास पेंटिंग्स आर देयर, सम डेकोरेटिव आर्ट एंड ऑल्सो जो मैंने बताया कि सैल्वाडोर डाली ने जो एस्ट्रे डिज़ाइन किया था ना, जिसके लिए हमने एक बेबी एलिफेंट एयर इंडिया ने यहाँ से उनको दिया था, तो वो भी इस एग्ज़िबिशन का पार्ट है। तो बहुत कुछ है इंटरेस्टिंग इस एग्ज़िबिशन में देखने के लिए, तो मैं चाहूँगी कि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोग आएँ और कोऑपरेशन सबका रहा, एयर इंडिया की सारी अथॉरिटीज़ का, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ सिविल एविएशन का, AIHL का, तो सबके टीम वर्क से ही इस तरह का एग्ज़िबिशन पॉसिबल हो पाया है।
एक आखिरी सवाल, बॉम्बे के बाद हम कहाँ और प्लान कर रहे हैं?
तो अभी ऐसा कुछ डिसाइड नहीं हुआ है, बट एनजीएमए को जब ये कलेक्शन दिया गया तो हमारा मेन पर्पस यही है कि हम ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा इसको पब्लिक स्पेसेस में एग्जिबिट कर पाएँ, इसका रख रखाव ढंग से हो, क्यूरेशन, प्रिजर्वेशन, कंजर्वेशन, सिक्योरिटी, सेफ्टी, एवरीथिंग। और एनजीएमए से बेहतर जगह नहीं है इस कलेक्शन के लिए। और उसके बाद जो है हमारी कोशिश यही रहेगी कि इंडिया में ही नहीं जबकि बाहर के देशों में भी हम इस कलेक्शन को ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा दिखाएं। तो वो एक नेक्स्ट स्टेप है। पहला स्टेप ये है कि पहले अपने लोग देखें इसको, है ना, और अभी फेजेस में ये ट्रांसफ़र हो रहा है। तो एक बार जब वो सब ट्रांसफ़र हो जाएगा तो उसके बाद बहुत सारे मल्टीपल एग्जिबिशंस क्यूरेट हो सकते हैं उस कलेक्शन के साथ। तो नेक्स्ट स्टेप will be exhibiting at other places. Of course, I have already got this exhibition. मैंने अप्रूव करा लिया है NGM में बैंगलोर के लिए। तो मेरी कोशिश रहेगी कि एग्जीबिशन यहाँ से बैंगलोर जाए और दिल्ली तो जाना ही है। तो एटलीस्ट 3 NGM में तो इमीडिएटली जाएगा ही और उसके बाद बाकी मल्टीपल लोकेशंस पे भी एग्जिबिट होगा। थैंक यू। आप हाँ? Oh, is it?
Center. Both cameras. You can look here. तेरा mic. जल्दी जल्दी. She has to leave. Now it's a historic day and you witnessed this history far too longer than we have actually.
Well, it's been a wonderful journey. I wouldn't call it, it's our history actually, because it's a collection that belonged to the National Carrier and it's now in the National Gallery of Modern Art for the first time on public display, because it's been in Air India offices all across the globe and here also at their headquarters. And it's come to the Culture Ministry, which is where it is. It augurs well because many more people will be able to see it in India, abroad. It's a very vast collection, and it can be displayed thematically. It can be displayed historically. So it's a very big day for both the Air India collection, for the Maharaja, a great icon. Not many countries in the world have Maharajas. We're very lucky. And it's a great day for the Ministry of Culture that they're the custodians now of a very, very fine collection. And I hope many people will visit the show and I think will understand what happened 75 years ago, 80 years ago, when the Tata institution, for want of a better word, decided to collect contemporary Indian art, support contemporary Indian craft, and many other things they supported. But in this particular case, it was the arts and the crafts, and they did a very fine job of it. Thank you.
पास रहेगा इसके रख रखाव के लिए, सिक्योरिटी के लिए, कंजर्वेशन प्रिजर्वेशन के लिए, ताकि ये बेहतर उसमें प्रिजर्व हो सकें। और तो ये प्रोसेस ऑन है और हमने फिर जो है ये कलेक्शन हमारे पास आ रहा है, तो आपने देखा ही होगा ये एग्जीबिशन में हमने एयर इंडिया की जो आइकॉनिक कलेक्शंस हैं, हम बहुत मुश्किल काम था इतने सारे कलेक्शन में से कुछ वर्क को चूज़ करके लगाना, बिकॉज गैलरी स्पेस तो लिमिटेड ही होता है, कलेक्शन उनका काफ़ी ज़्यादा है। तो हमने करीब 200 के करीब आर्ट वर्क्स जो हैं, जिसमें कुछ स्कल्पचर्स हैं, पेंटिंग्स हैं, प्रिंट्स हैं, डेकोरेटिव आर्ट भी है, जैसा कि मैंने बताया वो एक एश ट्रे था जो कि सैल्वाडोर डाली ने डिज़ाइन किया था और जिसके लिए उन्होंने एक बेबी एलिफेंट मांगा था जो कि एयर इंडिया लेके गया। और आज एग्जीबिशन इनाग्रेशन में एयर इंडिया से उत्तरा पारिक भी थी जिन्होंने और उसके बारे में जानकारी दी, तो वो भी इस एग्जीबिशन में रखा गया।
तो मैम ये कितने दिन का एग्जीबिशन है, और जैसे कि आपने कहा था कि कौन से थीम की पेंटिंग्स यहाँ पे हैं इस एग्जीबिशन में?
तो इसमें हमने मेनली सेक्शंस बनाए हैं और जो थीम्स हैं वो ग्रेट मास्टर्स की है, जिसमें आपको रज़ा, हुसैन, कायर टुंडे, प्रभा, उसके बाद